My name is Rochelle Jamila Wilbun, and my pronouns are she and her. I am a light-skinned Black woman in Brooklyn, New York.
Hi, my name is Ogemdi Ude. My pronouns are she, her, hers. I am a dark-skinned Black woman with poofy, 4C, dark hair, wearing a black top, and Rochelle and I are in front of a gold shelf and a white wall. Today, we also want to acknowledge the Lenape, Canarsie, and Rockaway peoples whose land we work and live on. We want to give honor to elders past, present, and emerging, who are the traditional custodians of this land on which we continue to be fed by. This land was never ceded. Thank you so much for joining us today. We're gonna walk through a short presentation and do a little bit of dancing.
Yes. So I want to begin just by giving I'd like to begin by just giving us some context of why our project felt so important to us. We are offering this in the climate of a Black birthing crisis. And this is just a content warning. I will be talking about some statistics around death and life. In Brooklyn, New York, Black people are 12 times more likely to die due to birth-related complications as their white counterparts. And in those situations, 18% of those deaths happen 1 to 6 days postpartum. Another 21% happens in the first 42 days postpartum. So as doulas and caregivers in our community, we know that postpartum is a crucial time for supporting birthing people and for helping them get the resources that they need.
Can we head to the next slide? Great. Or the next slide is, it's one that says AfroPeach at the top. So I think we jumped forward a little bit. Yes, there we go. So AfroPeach, this is our mission. AfroPeach uniquely blends movement healing practices and birth work to provide holistic care for Black bleeding and birthing people with a focus on postpartum care. We aim to support Black bleeding and birthing people to feel empowered and sacred in their bodies and to decrease postpartum health disparities by fostering a supportive space for physical, mental, and emotional wellness. And let's go into the next slide. Which is, yeah. No.
It should say movement, nourishment, and education.
There we go.
Yay.
We're getting it, y'all.
So these are the 3 pillars that our traditional birth and womb work are rooted in. And we come from a lens of movement, that all healing, all life involves movement. And so when we're supporting people and bringing forth life and healing and recovering from the rigorous process of bringing forth life, that movement is crucial and integral to that healing process. Nourishment is just essential. It's essential for postpartum. It's a time when we need so much love in the form of food as nourishment, medicine as nourishment, community as nourishment, resources as nourishment. So we focus a lot on that. And then finally, education is such a crucial aspect of making sure that postpartum people have what they need. It is our hope that AfroPeach will meet people before they're even postpartum and when they are postpartum, so that they have the information, the resources, because there can be such an immense gap between the information people have when they are even pregnant to prepare them for what postpartum life will be like.
And we're gonna head forth to the next slide where we'll talk about our year in a nutshell. Great. So this year has been a lot in a lot of ways, but it's been fun. And so we want to kind of give a quick breakdown of what that has meant for us. The first being, we took some time to curriculum build, to think about what we have between us as artists, educators, doulas, and what we want to bring to the table, and ways to really translate the ways that we already work respectively as dance artists and doulas into the work that we want to share with folks. We then went into a focus group process, which included us gathering and inviting folks from the community, Black postpartum people in Brooklyn, who would be able to give us some feedback on what they needed from the work and what they were missing in their day-to-day support. And then one of the little experiments we had was Club AfroPeach, which was just a little virtual dance party for a time for people to come together and to, I don't know, really hit it in their apartments and to kind of have that sort of community and that stimulus of movement, even when we are behind our screens in our respective homes, and enjoying that from there.
So we had a huge realization during this project that we had to pivot our original vision to online, because we wanted to meet people where they were at home during the COVID-19 pandemic. So another immense part of that was our on-demand classes that we created for our website.
Next slide, please.
So on our AfroPeach website, you'll find on-demand classes about postpartum nourishment. That includes how to make a nourishing herbal infusion, how to make a bone broth, and then also movement as nourishment as well. A huge part of what we're trying to create is a sense of digital dueling. So meeting people, even if we can't come to every single person's home and offer them postpartum care in the ways we want, which involves putting our hands on them and rubbing their bodies and, you know, preparing them a fresh meal right to their table. We're able to offer a lot of that nourishment in the form of these classes.
Great. And now we are going to walk a little bit through our website. Bear with us as we're doing this funny little panning back and forth with my computer. Okay, so walking through our website, we have, as Rochelle was saying, we pivoted to digital doulaing, and we wanted to think about what collection of resources could we put together and what is the most effective way to do this. And so right now, if you go to afropeach.com, you will find a little bit more about us as a partnership and individuals. Next slide, please. You will also find movement classes. And also keep in mind, it is under construction. So if you go right now, some things are there, some things will be there soon. So keep checking back. But we have some movement classes, from postpartum yoga to creative movement to somatic classes. Next slide, please. We also have our Wisdom Keeper series, which is when we get into that education element when we're talking about the pillars of this work. And that is when we bring in different birthwork experts to talk about all of the beautiful stuff they have to share. Next slide, please. We also have nourishment videos. So videos that walk through different postpartum goodies that you can use for yourself. One being bone and veggie broth. Next slide, please. And then another being herbal infusions. Then we also have a chest feeding salve up. And so more will come in the future. And these are just a few things that are already there now. And let's go into the last slide. Oh, yes, that's another one. Great. That's another thing you'll see. And let's go to the next slide, which will be the actual last slide. Okay, cute. We're back. And actually, we can get rid of the slides for a second. Amazing. Now this is easier. We're going to do some moving for like 3 minutes. If y'all want to move with us, then please do. Because of copyright, we can't play music. But we have a shaker, and Rochelle's going to do her best with the shaker. I trust us.
Did you still want to do some breath work first?
Let's do a quick breath work, yeah.
So we're going to begin just by grounding our bodies with some breath work. I'm going to offer this, but if it doesn't resonate with you, breathe however feels good in your body. Like, you know yourself best. For those who want to follow along, you can lower your gaze, or if it feels good, close your eyes. And we're gonna do a 4-part breath. So taking a deep breath in to a count of 4. When you get to the top of that breath, allow it to sustain for 4 counts. And then exhale for 4 counts. And then sustain that hold of the exhale at the bottom of your breath for 4 more counts. We'll try that again all together. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Sustain that inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. And sustain that exhale, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now that we're in our bodies, we're gonna get up and do some movement, and I'm gonna grab my shaker.
If you feel up for it. All right, so we're just gonna try a few things.
Do you wanna hum? Do you wanna hum a second?
Okay. Okay, no, I'm not gonna hum anymore for a second. So these movements, the first one being, we're gonna take our right leg, put it behind our left foot, and we're just gonna reach down. Then we're gonna step back on that right leg and come back up. So I guess the electric slide folks got it too. So we just step down, we bring it back up, and then we bounce our shoulders. And then we're gonna push down, bring it up. And then where do we go next?
And then we did step, touch,
Step, touch,
and then spin.
and then
To
spin.
close it out.
And you can clap if you'd
Ooh,
like.
I love that.
Cute. All right. So let's.
The beat.
Yes. 5, 6, 7, 8. We step, we bring it back, we shoulder and shoulder. We bounce, we step together, step around, clap.
Do you want to do it one more time?
Let's do it one more time. It's fun to do. If you have, after this, go play Legos Jump. That's the song that this is supposed to be to, and it's a really good song.
And this is not comparing.
This is not comparing as much, but we're doing our best. All right, let's try it again. 5, 6, 5, 6, 7, 8. Step down, step back, shoulders, shoulders. Bring it up, step, tap, and turn. Thanks for bearing with us in that weird little silence. That's all we got.